In Petrograd on February 27-28 in 1917, the autocracy was overthrown, all power passed into the hands of the Provisional Committee of the State Duma, the provisional government. However, parallel to this, there were workers' and soldiers' deputies. Russian Empire found itself in a state of dual power, which subsequently would grow into the civil war. In Kiev, on March 4th in 1917, in these circumstances and on the initiative of the Society of Ukrainian Progressives, was established the Central Council of Ukraine, which included representatives of all political parties. The USR was headed by the Mikhailo Hrushevsky. Based on the decision of the Ukrainian National Congress, the USR put forward to the provisional government claim for autonomy of Ukraine, and on June 10th in 1917, the Central Council, without permission of the provisional government, issued the Universal I, which declared the announcement of Ukrainian national autonomy as a part of Russian Republic. Over the past 3 centuries, it was the first conscious public revolt of Ukrainian political elite for its own people's sovereignty, and although the USR had not people's support, its activity increasingly met the understanding of the part of Ukrainian society. This is evidenced by the case of the Universal II. The provisional government did not accept the arbitrariness of the Central Council, but had to seek understanding. As a result of negotiations on July 3rd in 1917 was proclaimed the Universal II, where Central Council agreed to the approval of the autonomy of Ukraine by Russian Constituent Assembly, which had to take place in October 1917. This was open concession to the policy of the provisional government, which has not adopted the majority of the Ukrainian people. In Kiev, on July 3rd, the strong revolt of the independentists led by Mikhnovsky was happened. Central Council proved to be unable to act decisively. Precious time was lost. Universals the third and the fourth were adopted in conditions of deployment of the civil war. In Petrograd, in October 1917, Bolshevik revolution that was condemned by the Central Council took place. Published on the November 7th in 1917, Universal III proclaimed the establishment of the Ukrainian People's Republic in the federations of 3 nations. Again, Central Council proved to be short-sighted and limited. Progressive social character of the Universal did not provide the protection of revolutionary achievements and could not protect Ukraine from the civil war. The Bolsheviks, as their predecessors, did not want to collapse of the former Russian Empire, and ultimated on December 5th in 1917 declared war on the Ukrainian People's Republic. Defeat of the Central Council became inevitable. Russian forced Universal on January 11th in 1918, and the break with Bolshevik Russia has not brought results. Belated measures, unprepared to fight, absence of the army, the incapacity of the state apparatus, inexperienced leaders led to the defeat of the UCC. The first period of the Red Bolsheviks' terror began in Ukraine. The Ukrainian politicians were trying to save the situation, and the Ukrainian Central Rada, during the negotiations in Brest-Litovsk, went to a separate peace with Germany and its allies. During April 1918, power of the United Ukrainian People Republic restored with the support of the Triple Alliance, but Germany came not as an ally but as occupiers. Food robbery of Ukrainian peasants by occupying force finally undermined the authority of the Ukrainian Central Council. To save the country, on April 29th in 1918, the Kiev Agriculturist Congress proclaimed Hetman Pavlo Skoropadsky. Measures of Hetman's regime on the one hand were quite progressive. Ukrainizations of troops, creating powerful armed force, founded the Academy of Science of Ukraine, established state archives, opened 2 universities and 150 gymnasiums, But positives were crossed by two important moments. First, social support of hetmanate were rich landowners and the bourgeoisie. People have lost even those small gains during the revolution. Secondly, the Ukrainian state, the official name since April the 28th in 1918 till November the 13th in 1918, in essence was a puppet in the hands of the German General Staff, was being held only on the authority of the occupiers. In 1918, Germany, having come out of the World War I, could not support the hetmanate regime. Already on November the 14th in 1918, the newly formed Ukrainian Nation Union began an open struggle against the hetmanate. Ukrainian People's Republic was restored. The Directorate, 5 persons government, led the newly created state. The last period of the revolution was in a difficult situation, foreign and internal political crisis. The parliament, Labor Congress, was created, but there was no real legislative power. Unification Act of the Ukrainian People's Republic and the West Ukrainian People's Republic was announced on January the 22nd in 1919, but the association remained only on paper. Open war against Bolshevik Russia, the orientation in foreign policy at the Entente, Britain, France, which in turn saw only one and indivisible Russia. Fighting with Polish claims to Western Ukraine, such vicissitudes relations have played into the hands of Soviet Russia, which as a result of planned fighting, establishment of Soviet power in Crimea, finally established Soviet power throughout the Ukraine in 1921. Thus, the period of the National Democratic Revolution of 1917-1921 showed the unpreparedness of the political elite to take responsibility for the development of free, independent and self-independent state. Ukrainian people, in the vast majority, were not the sole force against the foreign aggression. The international situation was unfavorable for the birth of the new state. Again, Ukraine was swallowed by the imperial creation of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republic.